Samsung just added an incredibly awesome and innovative new feature to its brand new S26 Ultra device that I desperately need Apple to copy, along with some other great improvements to its camera system and, of course, AI. But these AI features actually put Bixby, yes, Bixby, ahead of Siri in some instances. But before we get into everything, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss not only the new Samsung devices compared to its Apple counterparts, but we're also 1 week away from Apple's own event and experience type thing that's happening next week with new products coming, so you won't want to miss that coverage. All right, let's jump right into the Unpacked recap here, where Samsung unveiled its brand new S26 lineup. In this video, I'm going to focus more so on the Ultra model, but in a future video, I will also do a comparison with the Galaxy Buds 4 Pro that were also announced to the AirPods Pro 3, and of course, a camera comparison with the S26 Ultra to the iPhone 17 Pro. Okay, so that feature that I teased at the beginning of this video, in my opinion, is truly a game-changing type feature, something innovative for once, that more companies will probably implement because, to my knowledge, and according to Samsung's positioning here, they are the first to do this, and that's a new privacy display that's built into the S26 Ultra. Samsung says it controls how pixels disperse light so that content remains clear when viewed head-on, but is harder to see from side angles. Just think of a privacy screen protector. But unlike those stick-on privacy screen protectors, it preserves full viewing quality when you turn it off. It's just a normal display. And it only limits side visibility when it's activated. It works in both portrait and landscape, and it can automatically turn on for specific situations like when you're entering in passwords or entering in the password to unlock your device, or even designed for specific applications. Privacy display also includes different levels. So partial screen privacy limits visibility for notification pop-ups, while maximum privacy protection further obscures side views for added discretion. Samsung says this comes with minimal impact on power or usability. It is a layered approach to privacy that feels more integrated than previous hardware accessories. I personally loved this. I love the idea of having notifications only being the protected thing here, as you can see in this demo. It's harder to see from the side angle, and it's perfect for those who maybe are sitting next to you that kind of have a peeping eye if you're on public transport. Could have used this on my 5.5-hour flight here. Entering in your own password if it's somebody that's peeping over your shoulder. And if it's something different than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's pretty hard to see what that person might be entering in. Or maybe you want your Photos app to have this level of protection from prying eyes. You can set it to just be that application. And you can keep it on at all times if you want to, or again, you can have it turn on for specific scenarios. I absolutely love this level of customization, and you no longer need screen protectors ruining the quality of your screen and have, that on at all times if you don't need it. There's also some fantastic new AI features that Samsung is implementing that honestly makes Bixby look light years ahead in terms of usefulness than Siri in certain situations, which is kind of wild to think about. But here's one really impressive example. Say you were to ask Bixby what settings you should change on your phone to help with eye fatigue, or feeling really tired when you're looking at your phone and you just want to change some things up so that doesn't happen. Bixby not only brings up the relevant information, but also the toggle that you should turn on or turn off right there in the chatbot. So you don't have to go hunting through or clicking on things to find that. This is super useful stuff here. Now, you can ask Siri how to do some things on your phone, but it usually just brings up a support document, then you got to go and read through it and find all of that. It doesn't bring up the toggle for the settings that you might need to based on, having a conversational question like, hey, I'm feeling really tired. My eyes are starting to hurt. Should I turn on or off a specific feature? It just can't do that right now. Samsung is also introducing more proactive AI features with Now Nudge and some improvements to Now Brief. Now Nudge surfaces timely suggestions based on context, like recommending photos from a recent trip when somebody might ask for them in a message. And it comes up quick, but you can see here, it also recognizes related calendar entries and checks for conflicts. Now Brief is more personalized. You get that brief, surfacing reminders for reservations or travel updates throughout the day. And together, they kind of represent that push towards being more contextually aware and anticipating needs instead of just reacting to them. Document Scan is another practical addition. It uses AI to remove distortions and distractions when you scan in those documents. Let's say you have, a staple in the corner here and it leaves that little ear. It'll actually use AI and flatten the image so it looks like one neat piece of paper. And then you can organize everything into one single PDF, digitizing receipts and forms and different notes. Other apps and phones can do this, but I like that this is built in and it kind of makes everything look neater. Say your fingers are in the frame. It'll go ahead and get rid of that if there's any shadows that might be there when you scan an image. it'll get rid of that to make everything look nice and clean. Samsung Creative Studio also brings some, useful creation tools into one tightly integrated space. So you can start with a sketch or a photo or even a text prompt, and you can have that turn into stickers, invitations, wallpapers, and so much more. It's just simple to use. You don't need to jump between different apps or tools to refine and share your ideas. So for users who like experimenting with AI-generated visuals, say you want a Red Panda specific sticker collection and then add it right to your keyboard, you can do that all here in the Creation Studio. From a hardware perspective, there's not a lot that's going on here that's going to look super new right off the bat. Kind of has the same design as previous years, but Samsung did go back to aluminum for the frame. I know. But this allows for everything to be a little bit thinner than normal, and you can now color match the frame to the rest of the phone, where in years past it might have been kind of different. Also, speaking of colors, they're kind of meh. I really like the white. I think that's kind of the best one. The lighter blue is pretty good. The hero color is this purplish looking thing that kind of changes depending on what the light is hitting it. It's all right. You do get some really good camera upgrades this year though, and I will be doing a full camera comparison with this Ultra compared to the 17 Pro and Pro Max, so subscribe so you don't miss all of that. But with the Samsung emphasizing some of the new hardware features this year, like the wider apertures on the S26 Ultra, this allows for a lot of the photos and videos to have more light hitting the sensor. And that should result in clearer photos with better detail and lower light, especially when zooming in. Enhanced Nightography video is also back and much better, with Samsung promising clearer and more vibrant footage in dimmer scenes like concerts. Shout out, that's my favorite thing. I do a lot of concerts, so that'll be exciting to test out. And Samsung is also showcasing an ocean mode for some reason for those who need better and more vibrant colors when underwater filming. I don't know how many of you guys do that, but if you do, you're going to have an option to have better and more vibrant colors for some of those photos. And then there's also some video upgrades like Super Steady, including a horizontal lock option, which kind of maintains a consistent framing perspective during action shots, as well as a pro-grade codec similar to Apple's ProRes RAW, which will allow creators to kind of tinker around with a lot of the various aspects of video as opposed to kind of just pointing and shooting and dealing with the results there. You have more fine-tuned controls. On the AI camera feature side, Photo Assist gets you a nice upgrade this year. You can describe the edits that you want in your own words, such as changing a scene from day to night. You can add in missing parts to the photos, add missing elements, restore objects, clean up details like spills on clothing, add in a piece of cake that might be missing here. Maybe somebody got into the cake early and you didn't get a chance to get a picture of it. Well, you can use AI to kind of come in and generally edit the photo for you so you can get the perfect picture. Lastly, from a performance and battery standpoint, Samsung added in the latest Snapdragon Elite Gen 5, revamped and redesigned its vapor chamber cooling system for better heat dissipation. And from a battery perspective, we now have Samsung's super fast charging 3.0, which apparently can get you up to 75% in just 30 minutes. So that's the new S26 Ultra. Huge fan of some of these new features, especially the hardware feature with the whole privacy display built in, but also some of the AI improvements. And we all know Apple's a little bit behind in the AI movement. Hopefully, with the new Siri that's potentially coming later this year, we should see a lot of catching up. But of course, I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. How do you feel about some of these features? Would you want Apple to add this privacy thing and some of these AI features that I just talked about? Let me know down in those comments. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.